Everybody, my name is Zhane and you are tuned in to Trey TV. So today we have a special guest by the name of Cocorinea. She is an entrepreneur, a fashion designer, and the owner of an online fabric company called Fiibers. So hello Cocorinea, how are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Okay, so can you actually tell us a little bit more about what you do?
Okay, so in the daytime, I do have a part-time job, but at night, I am a kids fashion designer. I do own a online sustainable fabric store called Fiibers, and I do host a podcast.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
So I didn't know it was you fashion, so within your fashion designing, is it targeted towards kids?
Yes, so my specialty is kids wear, so I do like select pieces for like adults. If you ask me really nicely and you're a friend, I'll do it for you. But I majorly just do kids wear, and then so yeah, that's it. That's what I specialize in. So that's what I find more enjoyable, and that's just my specialty. That's what I like.
So what are the age ranges of the kids that you design for?
Everything. Like I've made a couple of baby pieces. I went all the way up to like size 14, so it's really just everything. I just like kids clothing the most out of adults, out of everything. So yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So can you tell me a little bit more about Fiibers?
Okay, so Fiibers is an online sustainable fabric store. It's the first one of its kind, like ever. And basically what we do is all of the fabric that's there is donated from other designers. So like if you're a fashion designer, and if you're not, we always have like a lot of fabric. Like that's just what we do. Like we just collect fabric. You see like some sequins and you're like, oh my gosh, I can make this out of it. But it never gets made. And the fabric just sits in the corner. So instead of throwing that away, what I do is I go to designers in Atlanta. Some people send it in, and basically I set up their own like little fabric shop inside of Fiibers, and everything that sells, they do make a profit off of it. So that's how we are sustainable, because one thing that we do promote is sustainable design and making sure that your fabric and the cycle that starts with clothing doesn't always end up in landfills. Because nobody really knows, but in landfills, fashion makes up at least like 80%. So clothing, textiles, that's 80% of what's in landfills. And
wow.
Yeah, I just wanted to stop some of that. So yeah, I just wanted to do my part. Yeah.
Right. So do you think that it's a very profitable business? Do you have like a lot of designers?
Yes. So I started it last year, and we had a good response. A lot of mine. So I started it because I had a lot of fabric that I didn't necessarily want to throw away. So I was like, oh my gosh, what can I do with this? And I tried to look up places where I could sell it, and I didn't really find anything. So once I couldn't find anything, I was like, oh, let's just make it. So I made it, and my friends, I asked them, because I hang out with a lot of fashion designers, of course, and they were like, yeah, of course, yeah. So then from that, word just spread around, and then I threw a couple events last year, because one thing that I do want Fiibers to focus on is people that aren't fashion designers. You still do need to know how you can be sustainable in fashion too.
Right.
So whether that be repurposing your clothing or just finding a new method to throw it away. So we did throw some events. I threw 2 events, and it was for it was wine and tie-dye. So basically what we did is you brought in your white clothing, and we tie-dyed it for you. We taught you how to tie-dye. You brought in denim. We taught you how to distress it, how to make patches out of it, and things like that. So yeah, it seems so there is a really great response to it, because it's a tool that designers need that you don't find anywhere. So yeah, and it's good for the community. It's good for everybody. Yeah.
Right. I do agree. That's cool. So can you tell me a little bit more about like the events that you plan or that you've done in the past?
So they've been wine and tie-dye events. So it was a deal where you purchase a ticket, and once you purchase the ticket, you got like a goodie bag. I like to say a bye-bye bag. And it was like a Fiibers tote, sustainable tote. You got a wine glass. You got access to free tie-dye. Some people got free fabric. And at the event, we did like Polaroids. Yeah, we did Polaroids. We had like a photo booth area. There were shirts there and things like that. So I threw that twice. The other one was for couples. So in the couples one, you got more, it was like more lovey-dovey, so you got certain things. And then next year, we do plan on throwing a lot more events. So we have workshops that we're going to be doing where we're going to be teaching designers how to embroider. And then we do have more fabric swaps coming up. And what that basically is getting all of the designers together and saying, okay, well, we have this fabric, so let's swap it for this. So we do like I've held it at my house before, like a test trial. And basically what it is that everybody comes in and they get Fiibers money. So you get like little fake money.
Cute.
And we auction off fabric.
Yeah.
And that's the whole process. It's really fun. It's like a big game, and everybody just gets exposed to new fabric that they wouldn't necessarily find that other people are going to throw away. So yeah.
So how often do you have these events? I might have to sign up.
So I took a break this year because one thing about starting a business is that I feel as if once people do start a business, sometimes you can get lost in the sauce. We're gonna say that. Sometimes you can get lost in the sauce of starting a new business, and you can kind of lose your way, and you can kind of lose focus. So I took this year to kind of regain that focus, to kind of do like brand awareness and things like that. So I haven't thrown any this year to the public. Like I've done like with my friends before, but to test I did, and to make sure I was still on brand and on with the goals that I wanted to do. Because like I said, at some point you do get lost and you try to do everything at one point. I see with entrepreneurs and they don't understand that sometimes you have to come back a little bit, refocus yourself, and then go back at it.
Right.
So I'm going to be throwing more events in 2019. So the ones I've done in 2018 were just like my friends. So in 2019, I'm gonna get your email and you will be on that list.
Okay,
and I expect you to show up now.
Yeah, definitely.
It's on camera. I expect you to come through.
I will bring people.
Y'all heard her. She said she's gonna come. So, okay.
I will make sure I bring
Yay.
people. So it sounds like with all of this going on and being a young entrepreneur, it sounds very time consuming. How do you find balance to balance your professional life as a designer and your personal life?
It just gets done. How do I find time? Really, it just gets done. I really don't. If you want to do it, you'll find a way to get it done. Like, I think one thing is you have to be really good at time management, like very good. So you have to find the nooks and crannies in your time to get certain things done, and you have to prioritize too. So, and quite frankly, I'm still trying to find myself in that light, to be honest.
Right.
So I've tried different things where it comes to like maybe one day I focus on just making clothes. The next day I just focus on Fiibers. The next day I focus on this, and so forth and so forth. And in between all of that, my boyfriend, I think that's another thing about entrepreneurs. Okay, you have to have a really supportive spouse, like a very supportive spouse, a spouse that understands that, hey, like I may be on FaceTime with you, but I gotta make this pattern real quick, so you're gonna have to calm down. Like you're gonna have to understand you're trying to get my attention right now.
I think that's like the entrepreneurial lifestyle in general.
Yes. So you have to have a spouse that supports you. And I was really blessed to find one. I was really blessed to find a spouse that was like, that's okay with everything and understands time management and things like that. So it's really just about, honestly, it's just about time management, and it's just understanding that what needs to get done is going to get done, and you have to find time. So whether that be you, if you do work a 9 to 5, whether that be you waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, meditating, going to the gym, and then working on whatever your business for this long, or coming home at 5 o'clock, taking a 30-minute nap, waking up, and then doing whatever you need to do. So it's all about finding time and nooks and crannies for everything. But yeah, if you want it, you'll do it. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to become a fashion designer?
Ooh, struggle. The struggle.
How long have you been doing it?
Okay, long story. Let's start from the beginning. So I started doing fashion design. I didn't know what I was doing. I started when I was a kid.
Okay.
So what happened is I was a child. You know, I grew up in like a single parent household. So we weren't broke, but we didn't have everything, of course.
Right.
And my mom told me that I couldn't have like this 2-piece bandana set. And I was like, how dare you, sis? Like, how dare you tell me what I can't have?
Right.
And she was like, Cocorinea, it's too exposed. I'm like, you can't have that. And I rolled my eyes and walked away. And I went home and I started making swimsuits. Like, I went home and I was like, you know what? She told me I can't have it. I'm going to make it. So I went home and I got like a notebook from class or something. I had to be like in elementary school. And I made like a bandana top out of like a scarf that I found around the house. And I was making swimsuits. And I would try to walk out the house and I would be like, calm down. So that's how I got started. I was a rebel with no cause. So yeah, and I just got into it. And then ever since then, I started to sketch more and I started to draw. And in high school, of course, I feel like entrepreneurs always have this thing. But like in high school, when you want to kind of go against the grain, that's when I feel like everybody has a time where they try to reel it back in. And that time was me in high school. Mm-hmm. So like in high school, I did like physical therapy. I was cheerleader like all my life. Mm-hmm. So I did like physical therapy, athletic training and all that. And that's what I was going to pursue. I was going to do that. And then I was smart enough to pick a school that had fashion design and had physical therapy. Because I feel like in the back of my mind, no, I knew it. I was finessing. I was going to change my major eventually. I knew I was.
Right.
So yeah, I was going to change my major eventually. I had to ease my mother into the situation. So I took like one anatomy class, and I kid you not, I was excited to get a 44 on the test. And I went to my friend, I was like, this is unacceptable. Oh, yeah. I ain't doing this. Like, I'm not doing this. So then I changed my major to fashion design, transferred schools, and it's been a wrap since then. And I want to say, long story short, to answer your question, that was like I started in 2012, 11, 13, around that time somewhere. So yes, that's when 2012, we'll say that. So yeah, so that's when I officially started. But since I was a child, I had been dabbling in drawing and sketching and making clothes. I just didn't know what I was doing. In my mind, I just thought I was having fun. I didn't realize that I can make a career out of what I was doing. So yeah.
Awesome. So who do you consider your fashion icon?
Oh,
it can be multiple. Your favorite?
It's gonna sound very arrogant, but myself. My brain. Myself, okay? No, but really,
Is there anybody who like in the industry or anywhere that encouraged you and you're like, oh, I want to be just like this person, or I want to be as successful as this person? Like,
no. I can't tell you that, I'm sorry, like that, no. I can tell you that one of my biggest inspirations has been Patrick Kelly. He was a very old designer, and he was a very whimsical designer. So he has been one of my favorite, but since then, I kind of pull from different people, so I can't say one. Like, I can like what Lady Gaga wore, like how she just wore that really big suit. That's adorable. Like I can like that, and then I can not like what she wears the next day. Yeah. Like I can, of course, everybody is in love with Rihanna, mm-hmm. So I can like what Rihanna wears, and then not like what she wears the next day. So I don't necessarily have like a really big influence per se when it comes to influencers, but I mm-hmm. think we're kind of at the point in fashion where you no longer look to celebrities for influencers. You look to street fashion. Yeah. So I think that's at the point that we're at now. So it's not necessarily celebrities that influence you anymore. It's yourself, it's your friends, it's literally the grass that grows. Like, it's other type of things. But kids really influence me. Like, I love kids. Like, I like animation movies a lot. Like Zootopia is my favorite movie out there. Mm-hmm. So I can look at like Trolls and like Zootopia or like Moana, Coco, amazing movies, and get really inspired to make clothes. So I don't necessarily think it's like a celebrity, so that's why I'm like just myself, like my brain. But yeah.
For your surroundings.
Yeah.
So what do you think about like social media influencing designers or the design industry?
We talk about this all the time. Like, designers talk about this all the time. It can be a curse and it can be a blessing at the exact same time. Mm-hmm. It's a blessing because it gives you exposure, so it exposes you to new things, mm-hmm. It exposes you to different influencers. It's a curse because you fall under the trap of social media. Yeah. So you fall under the trap of, okay, I have to produce every single, like I have to post every day, I have to produce every single day, and then it can wear you out as a designer. It really can. Like, your creativeness is really when it comes to you naturally. So the flow of how, like, and that's the fast fashion industry in general, because that's what social media basically is. The flow of how things happen mm-hmm. is a curse. And also, as a designer, it can kind of hurt your, I guess, confidence per se. Because let's say you have somebody who has like 20,000 followers and they're not making anything with t-shirts. Yeah. And you have like 300 followers and you're making things from like scratch and you're on the floor making patterns, cutting out fabric, things like that. It can kind of, because you get to the point where you start to compare yourself to other people and you don't start to understand your own journey and what makes sense to you and what works for you. Yeah. So social media, it can be a curse and a blessing, but I think when it comes to fashion, fast fashion, which is the whole H&M, Zara, that whole deal, is a direct impact from social media. So I don't know, it's a curse and a blessing. It can help you, it can harm you. It depends on how you look at it. And it's also, as a designer, it's also training your mind to look at certain things a certain type of way and ignoring some things and just being comfortable in who you are as an artist.
Right. So do you think that social media is a great outlet to like expose your brand? Because I can only speak from personal perspective. Like I like to look on Pinterest or like I'll be on Instagram searching like a certain look, and that's what inspires me sometimes with like my fashion or what I'm wearing or what I feel like wearing, because I'll try to stay up on what's current or cute. So I get a lot of my, inspiration from social media.
Yeah, of course it can be great for your brand because everybody's there. Like social media is where everybody's at, but it also depends on if that's your target audience. So if your target audience is millennials, if your target audience is like our age and like things like that, then yeah, of course that's where you need to be. But if it's not and your target audience is, let's say, our moms, you need to be on Facebook. Yeah. Like, but that's also social media though. So it to me it all depends on where your brand lies in, because some people don't need to have social media, to be quite frank. Some designers don't need it. You're just there because you want to expose yourself to a younger audience. Right. But it all just depends. I think yes, for everybody that I know, yes, social media is a great tool. It's a great tool. It does have little curses, like I said, but it has more blessings than anything. So yeah.
So what's your favorite way to expose your brand? Since you're not really into social media as much and you target like the youth, do you just spread your brand by word of mouth? Is it through your friends? Like, how do you think you get most of like your clients?
So for adult clothing, it's word of mouth, because I don't like doing it, to be honest with you. Like for adult clothing, it's word of mouth. For kids, it's social media. For kids, it's social media. Because it's more so targeting the parents. So like I have a new collection that's about to come out in February. So for that, like the whole release of that is like social media mixed with like parties and like going to where kids are actually at, to where their parents are. Right. Because that's the whole, I gotta target parents, not the children. So doing things like that. For Fiibers, it's online social media, of course. It's going to fabric stores. So I'll go to fabric, because of course I still buy fabric, and so I'll go like to fabric stores and like I'll talk to the designers there. I'm like, oh my gosh, what you doing with that afterwards? I'm like, yeah, well, I fabric, don't you? They're like, well, yeah, I do. There you go. Take that card real quick. Take this card and sign up. So doing things like that. For like the podcast that I do, it's more so that's more of a word of mouth too, and social media. So it's like an intermix of both, but social media is in all of that because that's where the audience is. So yeah.
Okay, so Corinna, I brought a few pieces with me today, and I'm actually going to be selling them. Okay. Or giving them away. I haven't decided yet, but I want your advice. I want to know if they're hot or not. So that's how you got to answer, hot or not. Okay. So let's start with the first piece. So we have this cute little dress, and it's open.
This is the back.
This is the back.
So this is the front.
It reminds me of like Jungle Fever. Okay. Or something like a jungle gym.
Okay.
Hot or not?
Is there an in between? Okay. Okay. We'll go with hot. I don't know about this opening right here, but this is a cute casual dress. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is cute.
I guess it shows a little cute boobage. So hot. All right. We have next interesting patterns.
Okay. This one is screaming flea market Versace to me. Okay, it's screaming that. I'm gonna have to go with it now. I'll have to go with a knot for this one. That's
We're gonna put
what-
the knots over
I have to go with a knot.
Okay. This one is like screaming rainbow to me, but what do you think?
I'm getting like a dominatrix, but a sweet girl type of vibe from this. So it's gonna be a no-go for me. But you know what? I feel like
Decided to
these
put
chains.
the chains.
I just
in
don't want
their
people's
belly.
skin to turn green. Like I would hate for your stomach to turn green. So we're gonna go with a no.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
No.
Super no. Okay, so we have like a maxi sheer blue dress.
That does
I'm
this
not
side.
sure if you wear this, like if the objective was to wear this to a prom or
A prom?
to,
Please don't show up to your prom. Please don't.
like
I will
the
personally
design
come
was
and
like to a prom and then it was like material for casual. So hot or not?
Okay, so if you're gonna wear this to a prom, the answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you thought about that. The answer's gonna be no. Don't do that. It's a cute casual dress. Like I like this little detail right there, this little pleat detail. Would I wear it? No. Would I recommend somebody else to wear it? Maybe. So we're gonna go with a hot.
Okay, hot. Okay, 2 hots. Okay. So for the last one, we have a similar type dress. We have a white maxi dress, and it has a little sheer at the bottom. What do you think?
Okay, so this is a really cute design element. I really like this design element. My only thing with white fabric like that is like I feel like you can see your underwear in it.
Oh yeah, it is very
And you can. So I don't know how people are gonna wear underwear with this, so I'm not a fan of jersey white. So I'm gonna go with a no, not for that one.
Well, there you have it. We got the insight of a fashion designer, and you know, nothing really made the cut.
We have two casual outfits. Like wear them around the house. Wear them around the house. Those are good. Like wear this to the house. Wear this at a barbecue function with your family. Wear this to do your Sunday errands. Put a little headscarf on.
Sunday errands.
Oh, I forgot about that. Hey, listen. Sometimes on some days, maybe not Sunday. That's the Lord's Day. So Saturday errands.
Saturday
Wear this
errands.
out.
Okay.
So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Karina, for your time.
Yay.
And thank you all so much for tuning in to Trailer TV. Again, my name is Zhane, and thank you for watching. See you next time.